Will Smith, Margot Robbie, Viola Davis, Cara Delevigne, Jared Leto. Could this be the worst superhero film in history? Surely not.
Can't wait to show you my toys.
Okay, so I saw Suicide Squad back on Monday. It's now Friday, so I've had a few days to digest what happened in the theatre. Coming out of the film, my initial thoughts were it was okay. There were some good things about it, and then there was obviously some awful things about it. The critics' reviews at the time on Monday I kind of thought were a bit harsh, but as the week's gone on and I've kind of sat down and thought about the film more and kind of analysed it a bit more, I just think it was a really dire film. The main issue is it felt massively rushed. The character developments were rushed. Even the kind of origin stories at the start felt really rushed. The villain, played by Cara Delevigne, which is Enchantress, it's just felt like the most paper-thin, worst villain I've ever seen in a superhero film. It's just, she had nothing about her. You could have literally put, as Enchantress, you could have put any female actress in that character. You could have thrown a wooden chair leg into the scene and it would have given as much detail in the character as Cara Delevigne did. I'd love to know the casting's decision by the casting directors on that film, because it just seemed a baffling kind of scenario. Obviously the main characters in the film are Will Smith and Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn and Deadshot. These are the two characters in the film that I actually thought worked quite well and I was most intrigued by. I think it would have benefited if before Suicide Squad we had had a couple of films to develop those characters and see their story, because Harley Quinn and Joker's story is a massively detailed origin story and it's a very dynamic relationship and there could be a lot to discover in that. But it felt like we just rushed told what happened to Harley Quinn and how their relationship developed. Same with Deadshot. It felt his origin story is very rushed and he's quite a complex character. He's an assassin, but how did he get to that point? What are his motivations and things like that? We just never got to explore that because it was just rush. Here are the characters, this is the problem, and this is how they're going to solve it. There's also massive plot holes in the film. The fact that Viola Davis' character, Amanda Waller, was talking about how they need meta-humans to combat other threats and meta-humans, yet the Suicide Squad they picked was mostly humans with kind of good skills. I mean, Harley Quinn, essentially, she's just a psychotic person with a baseball bat. It was just a bizarre kind of quote to have in the film when it doesn't correspond to what they're actually doing. Again, as I say, the villain was crap, basically. I don't understand her purpose. It was just, yeah, we'll have a villain who wants to take over the world, and that's about it, really. I just feel when you compare it to, and it's going to have natural comparisons to Guardians of the Galaxy, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, they're just poles apart. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy introduced the characters and you kind of felt for them and you kind of cheered them on and you wanted them to succeed in their missions and that, whereas with Suicide Squad you just didn't feel that at all. It was just kind of a dead zone, essentially. You didn't care for what happened to them. I mean, Slipknot got killed within about 2 minutes and just no one cared in the cinema. It was just like, okay, yeah, that's done. And then obviously as the film moved on, there was just no, like, kind of, because you didn't care about the characters, there was no trepidation or emotion within the film. So I'm guessing, including myself, a lot of people came out of the film just feeling a bit empty, really, and kind of disappointed. I think it, as I said previously, it just felt massively rushed, and it's a bit of annoyance with DC because they obviously want to rush out these films because there's a big trend at the moment of superhero films, and Marvel's obviously got all of its films coming out in its TV and stuff and that's doing really well. But I think DC need to look at the long game and kind of pace it out, and they could have spent more time developing things and talking about showing things and whatnot and just developing it more, and then Suicide Squad could have come 2 or 3 movies down the line and it would have been a much more complete movie and hopefully a more successful movie.
Gang members for these new endeavors. From this point on, anything we do together.
So, here's my final verdict. Should you go to the cinema to see it? Should you wait for the DVD? Or should you just throw it straight in the trash? I'm kind of wavering on waiting for the DVD or throwing it straight in the trash. Definitely, I don't think there's any need to go and see it at the cinema. And then obviously with what's happened with Batman vs Superman and the Ultimate Edition on Blu-ray and DVD, you're probably better off waiting for the DVD, where you'll probably get more scenes and extra deleted content and probably a better picture of the overall film and what they were kind of gunning for originally. So my advice is wait for the DVD.